Welcome back to another episode of the podcast. Today, I want to talk about why is it so hard to make new habits stick and when are they supposed to become automatic? Now, you've probably heard about phrases like habits are automatic. Habits are effortless. We do them subconsciously. We are on autopilot when we do them. And now you're thinking, yes, that's exactly what I heard. You got to be Bonham. But then you're also thinking, well, I've been doing a whole bunch of stuff. I've been trying to make these things happen. And it's already February. I started a little while ago. I was told it's going to be easy peasy lemon squeezy, but it's not been easy peasy lemon squeezy. It's been stressy depressy and absolutely nothing feels automatic. What is going on? Honestly, absolutely nothing. You have just been lied to by basically everybody who's trying to tell you anything about habits. The thing is, yes, habits are automatic. Yes, they can become automatic. They can be effortless. You do them on autopilot, but what you're trying to do is not a habit. That's where you've been lied to. A lot of the stuff that we try to implement is actually more of a routine. And habits are repetitive, but they are very, very small actions. Think something like when you walk into your place, the location where you leave your keys in, that's a habit because you do it every single day in the exact same spot. The order, the way you go around your mouth as you're brushing your teeth, that's a habit. Things like what do you have for breakfast, what you order at your favorite places. Like those are habits because you have done them so many times that you do them without even thinking about it. You're not trying to decide every single day, where am I going to leave my keys today? You automatically go to that spot and you leave it, whatever this means, leaving it. So those are habits. But a routine is a sequence of steps. And that's why it's called an evening routine, a morning routine, because it requires multiple steps together. Many of them are actual little habits that are strung together in a sequence. And actually, this requires a lot more mental effort. It's going to require more physical effort, and you're going to need to be alert. And no matter how many times you do it, a routine may never become fully automatic, which is the place where people get tripped up, is because they think that if I do this enough, after a while, I'm not going to have to try anymore. I'm not going to have to trying to talk myself into stuff. I'm not going to have to it's not going to feel so difficult. It's just going to be oh, easy. Oh my God, I totally forgot. Here I am. I showed up and I'm at the gym, even though that day will never come. You will always have to intentionally do stuff, which is kind of the downside to working on brand new routines because they can be a little bit more difficult. So if at this point you're like, motherfuckers, you're absolutely right. I have been trying stuff. It's not feeling automatic. Don't worry. You are doing nothing wrong. If it feels a little bit tough, you're doing it absolutely right. It's going to take some time. Now, what I want you to know is that even though this may sound like it might be bad news, this is actually very good news, because once we know how habits and routines work together, we can start making some changes and help you get more habits in your life and help those routines stick a little bit better. So we're going to dive into some fun stuff right now, okay? There's a few things I want you to think about. Some of the stuff I mentioned, I'm going to keep bringing up more stuff. But first and foremost, you're not doing anything wrong if it feels hard, okay? If it feels like things aren't becoming automatic, ask yourself, what am I trying to do? And unless it's one small thing, chances are pretty hard you are working on a routine, which means that it's going to require some effort. The second thing I want you to think about is, because it's not going to be mindless, you going through it mindlessly isn't going to help. Go in with intention, okay? If you're working on something brand new, be like, all right, we're going to start doing this, and just be present as much as you can as you're going through the steps of whatever it is that you're doing. Because the more present you are, the more aware you are of what's going on, the easier it's going to be for you to try and implement some of those steps in a little bit faster. Okay? The next thing is that routines are made up of habits, which means that we can help our routine become solid quicker by working on little habits in the middle to kind of string it together. Also, if you have routines that are already in place, let's say you have a pretty decent morning routine, it's a lot easier for you to plug in smaller habits in places that are already kind of sturdy versus trying to kind of just plug them in where they don't work. So something really small, like something I do, you can do it as well if you don't already do it. But I like going to the gym. I like working out. It's just sometimes it's a little bit tough. And, like everybody, I have my days where I don't really want to go. I don't want to do stuff. But I have done little things to help me just be a little bit more ready. Just one less thing I have to do. And one of the things that I do is I always have clean gym clothes in a bag that's always ready to go. Whether that bag is in my car or the bag is right by the door, I always have a bag that's there. So It gives me less time to think about whether I'm going to go because I've eliminated a step. There's less friction for me to get moving. So that little habit is so ingrained that like as soon as I come home, I take out the stuff that's dirty, I immediately put new stuff in. That's the habit I've developed, which helps. Obviously it's not foolproof, but it helps to kind of solidify stuff. So instead of focusing so much on how do I make this entire sequence of stuff happen, see if there's small little things that you can start doing to help your routine be a little bit more solidified. If you're thinking right now, I don't know the first thing about how to make these things happen, this is exactly what my courses are about. It's actually teaching you, routines, habits, but how to actually design habits. How do I create a brand new habit? How do I break habits that are currently in my life that I don't really like? So if you are needing a little bit of extra help, go on my website, ivanamusic.com, and check out the courses that I currently have available. They might be helpful for you to get started. So the next thing is, because routines are repetitive, we can use that to help ourselves solidify the routine more. How can we make things as repetitive as possible? By keeping things the same or as similar as possible, okay? We can either literally do things the exact same way every single time that we do it. We can try to do it in a similar location so that we start having that association. Oh, when I'm here, this is usually what I do. We can do, similar time. So then like when the time comes, whether it's every day or whatever time, those positive associations or like those associations with like you walk into a specific place, oh, this is what I usually do when I'm there. All of that helps with the routines. The more chaos you're bringing in, the more things you have to think about trying to manage, the more difficult it is going to be for you to try to solidify any of this. So I hope you found some value in this episode. Let me know if you are going to try any of this stuff and what habits or routines you are currently working on.